Hopefully I can do service to her words. Heartland Hospice is devoted to a wholehearted care that is mindful of the holistic needs of the patient and their families. And as such, we are aware that those needs may be to see or do something meaningful one last time. And so we created My Wish program to assist people in the palliative program in seeking peace by helping them in some small way to finish the unfinished business in their heart. Wishes are simple, carrying little cost, yet are rich in meaning. To offer such wishes, we approached partners in our community who would be willing to support the fulfillment of these wishes. Medivy West Health Services, formerly known as Moose Jaw and District EMS, is one such partner, offering their staff and resources to transport patients anywhere in the province for one last visit. They are one among numerous who so generously and graciously have answered our call for support. We are so grateful to our partners for offering to be at the ready to fulfill what are often time-sensitive resources. To date, we have fulfilled 3 My Wishes that included a celebration of love ceremony, a rose garden gathering, and a visit from a comfort dog. Each wish was powerful in its own right and left a lasting impression of light and love on the hearts of the recipients. In the end, not only were the recipients moved by the experience, but all who were involved felt they had just witnessed and partaken in something very sacred. Our second My Wish recipient was Lorraine Probert. Lorraine voiced the desire to visit the rose garden in Crescent Park that she had spent countless hours in caring for the roses. Angela Serreda and her team from the formerly named Moose Jaw and District EMS were approached to give Lorraine transportation and medical support to make that wish come true. And so the dream was realized. As Lorraine arrived, she was joined by a circle of close friends to spend time in her beloved rose garden oasis and to plant one more rose bush in her favorite color. After a prior meeting with her, we had put together a listing of rose care tips, laminated them, and Lorraine gifted them to the City of Moose Jaw Parks workers who were also invited to the circle. And then a rose care book was purchased from Lorraine to present to her friends from the library staff who were also invited to her circle of care for inclusion at the Moose Jaw Public Library. In the heart of Moose Jaw that day, a very simple wish came true, and a woman felt fully loved and at peace, knowing that she had left a legacy of beauty that would live on after her passing. We asked Lorraine's close friend, Vicky Wadsworth, to speak to the difference hospice care made in Lorraine's end-of-life experience, and she answered with a resounding yes. I will read Vicky's testimony on her behalf, as she had to be out of town tonight. When my friend of many years, Lorraine Probert, informed me that she had multiple cancers for the 5th time, she made it clear that it would be the last. Lorraine asked me to be her power of attorney and executrix, and we had many long conversations about the disposal of her possessions, the funeral, her friends and family. I'm sure many people have these conversations when they know they are terminally ill. Those are the easier conversations, because death is an abstract notion at that time. It hasn't become real yet. I spent every day of the last few weeks of Lorraine's life with her, at first in her home, then at the hospital, then at Heartland Hospice. Lorraine was the type of person who always put people first, but now she was the one who needed care. Having experienced this final stage of life with family members, I thought I was prepared, but this time it was different. Maybe it was because Lorraine was very open to the conversations about her illness and impending death. There was no false hope that she would miraculously survive this terrible final bout with cancer. In fact, she embraced this stage of her life and looked forward to crossing over to be reunited with loved ones. She prayed for it. Lorraine was the strong one here. She got that strength from everyone who helped her in her illness, wonderful home care ladies, the EMS personnel who not only cared for her medically, but made sure she was able to visit her beloved rose garden as she had wished. the dedicated nurses at the and doctors at the hospital, and finally, Heartland Hospice and Della Ferguson. I cannot stress enough how impressed I was with the quality of care she received at the hospice. Friends and family were allowed to visit at any time with no time restrictions. COVID was raging at the time of her stay, but everyone at the hospice made it possible for us to be with her as much as we were able. They were attentive to her every need and kept her as comfortable as medically possible. The staff were always available for consultation or to explain what was happening at every stage of her treatment. Not only did Loraine receive outstanding palliative care, but the room was well set up to accommodate visitors, and I was often invited to stay overnight if I wished. But the care didn't stop there. The staff showed as much compassion and concern for me as they did for Loraine. I wasn't expecting that, but I sure appreciated it. Anyone who has cared for a terminally ill family member or friend knows how exhausting it can be, even in the short term. I was very grateful for their kindness. I hope that someday Heartland Hospice has all the beds they need to accommodate everyone who requires this type of care. As a society, we aspire to do our best for those who cannot care for themselves any longer, and Heartland Hospice is an important and necessary part of the solution. Loraine didn't have much, but she wanted it all to go to Heartland Hospice. I hope you all can find it in your hearts to give the Heartland Hospice and fulfill the dream that Loraine had, that the hospice would expand, thrive, and live on long after she was gone. In conclusion, we have My Wish brochures available at the information desk and on our website. If you know of someone who could support in such a wish, please let us know. We will do all we can to support its fulfillment. It is said that ritual is the passageway of the soul to the infinite. We believe that the My Wish program is just such a passageway. Thank you.